The team at Mentok are wanting to help position you to learn to the best of your ability. As such, there are some really important factors to take into account as you head into this current learning. So firstly, what is learning? Learning is the process of acquiring new understanding, knowledge, behaviours, skills, values, attitudes, and preferences. Adult learning theory and more contemporary models has significantly impacted Mentok's approach to learning. This represents a self-directed and self-determined method in which the learner reflects on what is learned and how it is learned. Mentok's function is to help the individual learn how to learn. As we believe that every brain is unique, therefore our approach to learning should be as well. People, even young children, come to learning situations with various experiences, interests and motivations, and a unique viewpoint on new knowledge, skills and experiences. Memory's function in establishing new pathways and connections with existing learning and experience, which is memory, is highly individualistic. Information may result in highly complicated cognitive leaps, resulting in changes in behaviour and the emergence of different levels of understanding. As a result, learning is a process of organising and restructuring one's own world of experience, including the revision, rearrangement, and reinterpretation of past, present, and potentially even future acts and concepts. There is no single method of learning that guarantees success. How you learn best depends on many different factors. Our goal is to help you find out more on which approach to learning is the most effective for you. The starting points for Mentok are: people are self-directed and self-determined. People use their past experiences as learning resources. People are motivated to learn relating to their social roles. People prefer to learn solutions that can be applied in their specific context. People use internal motivations. We believe an essential aspect of learning is that you need to think about your learning actively. Your motivation, the reasons why you engaged in a particular course of learning, your previous history as a learner, both in a formal setting and informally, through structured or unexpected learning experiences. Arousal, which is attention and motivation, also alters neuronal engagement linked with learning. As a result, learners who are given the freedom to pick their learning route based on need and interest will be more focused and thrive in the learning process. So by seeing and choosing this course, there are already more significant levels of attention and motivation for you, so a much better chance to learn more. Emotions and hormones, notably dopamine, play critical roles in learning, memory, and decision-making. The more pleasant, engaging, and stimulating the learning experience is, the more internally reinforcing it is. When individuals solve an issue or generate insight, they produce a flood of neurotransmitters in the brain, such as adrenaline and dopamine, which creates a sensation of exhilaration. Inquiry has the same impact, which Socrates understood instinctively rather than via brain research, which is why reflection and having a guide by the side is important, which is Mentok's role. Dopamine has also proven to improve encoding and recall from memory, which is essential for learning. This is critical for improving attention and memory function. Positive emotional experiences and social activities aid in the transmission of knowledge. Conversely, if you link negative feeling with learning, such as the fear of failing, you're also less likely to engage. The amygdala, responsible for emotion, is linked to parts of the brain responsible for higher cognitive skills and learning. Emotions influence learning in the same way as they influence analysis, decision-making, and action. In addition, dopamine, the pleasure hormone, reinforces learning in the long run, but serotonin release, which is involved in negative reinforcement, only boosts learning in the short term. As a result, we are more likely to participate in learning that interests us and is relevant to us. Persuasion has the opposite effect, causing hormones to be released that enhance resistance. This leads us to conclude that if learners are given the agency to pick their learning route based on individual passion and need, intrinsic motivators, and participate in active inquiry and problem solving, learning will be a more joyful and enduring experience, and more will be taken from that learning. So the process of self-determination and self-direction empowers you to learn and to get the most from the learning, but more importantly, to get those Mentok moments, those moments of insight. Reflection is important. Reflection is serious thought or consideration. In any course, we have to link reflection to the subject we want to learn more about. It is also about looking to adjust how we know and how we view the world. It is analysing how we view a subject, challenging our existing mental models. It is about evaluating how effective we are learning and making those adjustments, which are essentially evaluations of our own performance, which is not always straightforward or enjoyable. Above all, it entails being critical, not in a harmful or damaging sense, but through inquiry and through exploration into what and how we learn. It becomes more valuable for most of us when it can be shared, putting your thoughts and ideas into words and receiving feedback from others, then possibly listening to their responses. Makes the process more interactive and more iterative. So please don't be afraid to email us here at Mentalk with your reflections if you do want to engage in this process to your desired level. You are more likely to connect with the information if you share your ideas and thoughts about the learnings. You can also engage in a similar process by writing down your thoughts in the areas provided in the e-learning course or on the printout that you can download. There are no correct answers to these open questions, and we do hope that you take the time to record your replies and act on them when you feel the urge. We're all looking for patterns. Learners who can develop relevance via context construction are more likely to concentrate and find those patterns. This means that the more you apply the concepts you're learning into your mental models or your day-to-day views of the world, the stronger the patterns will be and the stickier the learning will be. When learning has personal meaning and relevance, we increase the chance of positive engagement and the establishment of long-term memories, aligning learning to existing knowledge to support meaningful associations and, more importantly, applications. Learning cannot be a one-size-fits-all approach. However, given what we know about how individuals learn, personalizing the learning experience and encouraging inquiry, reflection, hypothesis development, and testing empower rather than constrains or confuses the brain. The brain is very malleable and changes significantly depending on where a person's attention is focused. And you may have heard quite a lot about neuroplasticity lately. So when we're in a learning mode, we need to keep distractions to a minimum and prevent cognitive overload. There are many different tactics and approaches to increase attention. For example, to promote long-term memory retention, it is good practice to spread learning in different blocks over short periods rather than cramming in a lot of knowledge into a lengthy session to make the content novel and engaging. So plan your study time to have a precise aim or goal. When putting this content together, we try and make sure that the content is split into manageable pieces. This generally ranges between 10 and 30 minutes per session, depending on how much thinking you have to put into the content. In this day and age, it is also very easy to be distracted by text messages, emails, or social media updates, those all-important dings. This can have a very detrimental impact on attention and produce additional cognitive load. So think about turning them off when actively engaging with the material, as it turns out that no one is really that good at multitasking. Environmental, physiological, and emotional conditions all have a part to play in effective learning. So make sure that the space you have for learning is set up in a way that is not going to be full of distractions. Make the most of the time and space you have available. This could mean a learning space at home that you don't have to tidy before you start learning, that has a comfortable chair and enough light so as not to strain your eyes. Even things like hydration. Even mild dehydration is seen to affect cognitive performance and learning. Research also tells us the importance of sleep and memory consolidation. Regular and good quality sleep is a precursor for memory and learning. So, before you start engaging in some learning, take a little bit of time to get into that headspace you need to focus and to engage on a deep level with the content. And you will know yourself better than anyone else. This was a very brief introduction into positioning yourself as best you can to get the most from this learning. As with any course topics, please do reach out to me, rich@mentokc.com, if you do want to discuss more about it or if you do want to know more. It'd be great to hear from you.